All right, welcome to our Spokane City Council candidate mini forum brought to you by Greater Spokane Incorporated and KXLY. I'm Derek Deis. Starting with today's Facebook Live, we will stream Q&A with the candidates at noon every Wednesday through the end of the month. Now, today's race is the District 3 race in Northwest Spokane. With us are the two candidates for District 3, Candace Mumm, the incumbent, and Matthew Howes, the challenger. We have some questions prepared for them, and we also want to invite you to submit your questions on Facebook, which we will turn to in just a minute. All right, but first we want each of you to take just a couple minutes to tell our viewers a little bit something about yourself. And we are going to start with you, Matthew, and just what it is, why it is you're running, and what differs you from your opponent. Sure.
Thank you for doing this today, Derek. My name is Matthew Howes. I am from Da Nang, Vietnam. I came here in 1960. Born in '69, came here in 1975. I live in Northwest Spokane for the last 42 years. I'm married with 2 kids. Graduated from Shadow Park High School and Eastern Washington University. Currently, I own and operate a restaurant in my neighborhood. I'm running because I feel that the City Council is kind of going astray with in many different directions. I want more fiscal responsibility. I believe that crime is up, and so we need to do something about it.
All right, Candace, 2 minutes for you.
Well, thanks so much. I'm a longtime Spokane resident and was honored 4 years ago to be elected by all the great neighborhoods in our district, in the Northwest District, which are Indian Trail and 5 Mile and Balboa and South Indian Trail, Emerson Garfield, North Hill, Northwest Audubon Downriver, and Riverside and West Central, and a little bit of the West Hills. And each of the neighborhoods has their own flavor and challenges and experiences, and also sort of their own iconic feel. And so I really honor each of the neighborhoods' identities and stand up for the neighborhoods and work with them. I stood up with the neighborhood in Indian Trail when they had some growth challenges, and stood up for the West Hills when they needed some improvements for STA. And I've also enjoyed a lot of endorsements. I'm endorsed by the Spokesman Review. I'm endorsed by Vista, big businesses, small businesses, and many people who live all across the community. So what differs me is my experience and my endorsements.
All right, now again, our candidates have been briefed on these questions in advance, so the next one is for you, Matthew. Spokane is competing with many other cities to become the location for Amazon's second headquarters. Now, one of Amazon's key criteria is, quote, a stable and consistent business climate. Is Spokane a business-friendly city? And if not, what should we do differently?
Thank you. You know, Spokane, it would be wonderful to be able to get somebody like Amazon to come over here. The challenges that I see is right now with our current city council, we want to be so much like Seattle. So many of the decisions and so many of the things that we're putting into place is just basically following the Seattle model. Right now, Seattle is trying to impose a $100 per person fee or tax on employers, and I believe that that's unattractive to somebody like Amazon. And again, that's gonna, if that falls over here to Spokane, it's gonna be unattractive. They have, I believe that they're wanting to go out of Seattle for a certain reason, because I think it's just getting too restricted to work over there, and I think that Spokane is always trying to be right behind Seattle, making those same decisions, and so I don't know that we are in a position to be attractive to them, and I think they may look elsewhere.
All right, Candace, the angle on this question is a little bit different for you. What are some of the few specific things that the City Council should lead on to help attract other industries besides Amazon to our region and create new jobs?
Well, this is really a great question for our district, because we have so many opportunities outside of downtown, outside of the big white horse riding in and saving our city. We really are a mid-sized city, and that's what we'll always be. But what we have are opportunities on the north side, such as Shadle Shopping Center, the area around Northtown and Northtown Square, and the new increased housing activity and potential commercial activity in West Hills are just some of the examples. We've seen what happened with Kendall Yards when it's built right, when it's right size, and it's a walkable environment where you can park your car and get out and enjoy the whole night or the whole day and get what you need, whether it's medical, whether it's going to the grocery store, whether it's stopping getting something to eat, or you need to get something fixed. And that kind of targeted area is what you're seeing Spokane build out, whether it's at the Perry area or now at East Sprague that has just opened up. And here are the outcomes. Our sales tax revenues are up 10%. We are beating Spokane County and even beating the state in increased revenues coming into the city. And unemployment is down. So what we're doing is working. Now we have to bring that to the north side as well. And I've already started on some initiatives to do that, partnering with STA, partnering with the neighborhoods and their planning dollars. And I'm excited to get that going for our district.
All right, we do want to remind our viewers on Facebook Live there will be a segment where you can submit your questions, and we'll ask the candidates those questions in just a few moments. But we want to do a little bit of a rapid fire segment now. A series of questions, some serious, some of them just for fun, and quick answers from each of you if you can. And we'll start with you, Matthew, since you own a pizza parlor, Adello's Pizza. What is your ideal pizza? And let's be specific about toppings and crust too.
I like the traditional crust. Very traditional sauce, and the pepperoni is still my favorite.
Pepperoni, all right, Candace.
I'm a half and half. I definitely like Hawaiian on half and double pepperoni on the other side. Okay. So I can have a little bit of both.
Very nice. The city is removing traffic lanes on 2 major arterials to improve sidewalks, also known as the Monroe and Main Street road diets. Are you for or against these road diets? Candace, we'll start with you this time.
I'm for people. We built these areas for cars and we forgot about the people. And people are the ones who make the cash registers ring. Whether they are in a car or in a bike or walking or getting off of a bus, they have to walk at some point. Everybody's a pedestrian. And we forgot about our pedestrians. And in the places where we made it safe for people to walk, guess what? The businesses are busy, the tables are full at the restaurants. Making walkable communities is the way to go for business.
Matthew?
I also feel that safety is an issue. The Monroe Street project, I think, needs some more review. There have been other plans that have come up that the City Council refuses to look at. The current plan that they are wanting to put into place, going from 5 lanes to 3 lanes, I am opposed to. I think that crosswalks need to be brought in. There is some beautifications that can be done. But overall, the current plan that is in place right now, I think, is a very poor plan. I think that they need to go back to the table, sit down, and listen to everybody in the district, everybody in the on Monroe Street, as far as businesses and the people that live there.
All right, Matthew, we'll start with you this time on our next question. Name one thing that we can do besides more police officers to curb the rash of property crime in Spokane.
Property crime has gone up, and there's no disputing that. Definitely, we need more police officers. But what can we do? I feel that property crime has gone up because, well, a correlation between the legalization of marijuana. Now, I'm in no way of trying to say that we need to stop the sale of it. However, the City Council has done nothing about it. I feel that we're pushing the sale of marijuana in advertising. I think that we need to do something about that. I think that we need to get it on the same level as cigarette advertising. I think that we need to stop the billboards and stop pushing it. So right now, I think that there's a correlation between the two.
Okay. Candace, same with you, stopping the rash of property crime.
So property crime definitely needs to have a response because our police officers are so understaffed they can't always respond. But of course the crime has happened. So we need to go a little further upstream. And the issues, the data that I'm seeing in terms of addiction and mental health have to do with opioids. That's really where we've seen an expansion of drug problems. But the supervision of felony auto theft offenders is where we really fall short in the state of Washington. We're the only state in the nation that doesn't supervise these folks when they are released. And so I, along with some people at within City Hall and law enforcement are proposing that we do a pilot program in Spokane County that made it halfway through the legislature that would look after these property crime felons with the Department of Corrections. It's a great program that we can use and potentially take back statewide, and we have the support of the sheriff and the police chief in this initiative. And we'll get at the cause of the problem.
All right, and Candace, we'll start with you on our next question. Creating a Spokane County Port District to fund infrastructure improvements. Is this a good idea or a bad idea?
Great idea. I happen to be serving on the Community Economic and Revitalization Board for the Department of Commerce, where we sit and listen to all these great presentations by port districts, and they really bring communities together so they can make these applications through the ports for grants or low-cost loans to kickstart businesses, and then they can, through these programs, pay that back. Port districts advocate for regions, and I'm excited to see the PDA come out out to the airport. And I think that's the first step toward potentially having a port district. And I would love to have them come and bring us a project at the curb board.
All right, Matthew, your thoughts on a port district for the county?
Well, I'm not exactly familiar with the port district. It's something that again, this is the first time I've ever ran for anything. I'm not a politician. I'm learning a lot. In the meantime, any growth that Spokane can do, I would certainly support. Spokane is an area that still has plenty of room to grow, and so I would love to look more into that and see what the meaning is and how it would help.
All right. In fact, David on the Facebook live stream just asked the same question we just asked about the port district. So we had one kind of fun question already. We'll go to another fun question now. And Matthew, we'll start with you this time. When you go to the lake, where is it that you go?
My wife and I enjoy going to Deer Lake. It would be our #1 spot. And we love going to Granite Point as well.
All right, Candace?
I'm a Priest Laker. I'm in Pinto Bay, right by Indian Creek. Many of you know that my husband, Steve Mumm, is a realtor up there. So any chance I can get, I'm parked with my feet up out at Priest Lake.
All right, very nice. All right, we do have another question from Douglas on our Facebook stream. Homeless population increasing in your district specifically. What would you do? What can you do to help curb it? Candace?
I recently met with business owners on the north side who are seeing this outcropping of homeless that are being pushed out from all the efforts downtown, and of course they go elsewhere. So they have found the north side, and we have met with business owners and come up with a multiple-pronged approach. We have a new program called Hope Works, where if there's aggressive panhandling, they're actually given an opportunity to work for that money instead of standing out and bothering people who are driving by. We also have crime prevention through environmental design team members who can go out and help business owners look at their business and say, is it a lighting issue? How can we improve our security around our geographic area? We also need to have some support in parks. We see homeless showing up in our north side parks, and so we are having early conversations with the police, how park rangers will fit into that, and the park board, because we know that the homeless problem is not just downtown, it's also in our district.
Yeah. Matthew, what can be done about homeless?
Absolutely. Walking around, talking to the neighbors and everything, and friends and family. Yes, Shadle area is getting to be, gosh, darn near a tent city. I'm a little worried about that, and a lot of the families and mom and dads are very worried about what's going on at Shadle Park. We definitely need to curb it. Again, I'm going to go back to, I don't have the exact answer. What I do know is throwing rocks down there probably isn't going to be the right answer. So we need to find a solution for these homeless and places for them to go, do things that will help them to get off of their feet. But right now, the homeless problem up in the north side is getting pretty bad.
All right, we've reached time for closing statements already. You'll each have 2 minutes to talk to our viewers directly. And Matthew, we'll start with you, your closing statement.
Thank you. Again, I am running because I want more fiscal responsibility in our city council. I also want more open dialogue between the city council and the mayor. Right now, I feel that we have a strong mayor, but we have a supermajority in our city council, so things are not getting done necessarily in the best way. When people bring up ideas or call in for ideas and suggestions, the city council has already made up their minds. We need to have an open dialogue. We need to be able to work together more. I would like to, I'd love to have your vote so that we can have more balance in our city government right now. Again, Matthew Howes for citycouncil.com. Thank you.
All right, Candace, 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Thanks so much. Well, I'm Candace Mumm, your current city councilwoman in Northwest Position 2. And in the last 4 years, we have accomplished a lot. Spokane is growing at a pace that we haven't experienced for a long time. We have record construction. It can be seen all across the city. And as I mentioned, we are pacing ahead of everyone else when it comes to retail tax coming into our city. As the Planning and Economic Development Chair for the City Council, I can report to you that all of these indicators are really a sign that we are on the right track. Other important initiatives that I worked on or was responsible for, I authored the city's first ever crosswalk ordinance to help make it safer to walk to shopping and get kids to school. I also helped improve hiring practices for women and people of color at the city. We have close to 2,000 employees and can have a huge impact on diversity and equality in who we hire. I also voted to hire more emergency responders, but more work needs to be done. Too many of us have become victims of crime, and public safety and police staffing needs to stay a top priority along with supervision of offenders, as I mentioned. We also need to continue to plan for business and center upgrades, like around Northtown Mall and Shadle Center, and make our city more walkable with sidewalks and trails. Something I'm very proud of is the collaborative process that we have sort of morphed into with having a female majority on the City Council. For the first time, we are having a joint strategic plan with the mayor and his administration, and if elected, I will become chair of the Finance and Administration Committee, where we just met recently to talk about how we're going to spend the money that can potentially go into reserves again to make our city's bond rating improve and to possibly do extra projects for the city. So please remember Candace Mumm, re-election to City Council for Northwest District 3.
All right, that's going to do it for our City Council District 3 debate. I want to thank both Candace and Matthew for taking the time to be here with us at KXLY this afternoon, and we will see you next Wednesday at noon to hear from candidates from Northeast Spokane. That's District 1 with Tim Benn and Kate Burke. My co-anchor Robin Nance will be moderating that debate. And don't forget, of course, to mail in your ballot on November 7th. Thanks for being with us.